There we go. Welcome to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now, yesterday we did get, we got our hit detection working for our geckos, so now they can damage us. But when we walk off screen here, we still get damaged for some reason. So something's telling me that these entities are still in the scene, because look, I'm still losing hearts by colliding with entities, because that's the only way we lose hearts right now. We still need to add a game over state and a dying animation, and prevent our health from being negative. But let's see if we can figure this out. So one thing I want to kind of point out is how we are handling our game. So like, what you see here is, it says map 2.2, and let me get rid of this. Debugging on the screen here so that we don't, we get a clearer view. So if we hold 1, we'll get this information, right? So, oh god, it's already messing up. We're on map 2.2. Now what map 2.2 is if you think of all the maps, 10 columns, 10 rows, that's our current map size. So what is at a map at index 2.2 is a map instantiation. And a map instantiation has things like entities and collidable map objects and sprite sheets and all that stuff. So one thing that it doesn't include is our player, because our player and our spellcast entities, for example, exist on a different plane, because we need to be able to carry on into the next scene, right? So if the thing that's happening with our rendering here is we're telling our rendering for our next map, once we begin a transition to the next scene, our next map is going to transition onto screen while our old one transitions off. Now, the best way I figured out how to do that was to just kind of put all of the things that belong in the map and scroll the map off and keep our player out inside of our actual scene view. So we've got two things going on. We've got a map, a current map, right? A next map once we begin a transition, and then a scene that's holding a reference to the current map and the next map, as well as our player and our HUD and stuff like that. So I think what's happening here is that our entities are in our map 1.2, but I think we populate them. Actually, I think we're like updating our entities based on our scene and not based on our map. So I think that's what's causing the problem. Let's see if we can fix that. So I guess how we might take a look at this is take a look at our scene class and seeing how we're handling our entities. And we don't render any entities here. Okay, so we do have this block that is handling our player to entity collisions. So we're cycling through all the entities in the scene's map row and map column. Now so I think this is where it's messing up, because our map row and our map column is a field of our scene, and our scene is instantiated at one spot. It's instantiated right here under map row and map column, right here in our scene init. So I think the fact that we've got these split up, we need to really be rendering what is at our current map and updating what's at our current map, instead of our self.map row and column. So I think we gave ourselves this map row and column so that we can choose which spot we instantiate at. So I'm kind of curious where we're doing certain things. Yeah, like we reset our entities Okay, that's under a finish shifting. Yeah, we reset. Let me see what else we do. We don't really do much of anything else other than put... Yeah, we give our current map an instantiation of this map row and map column, and that's what is placing us in the current map with the appropriate sprites and everything. So I think what we need to do, let's take a look in our, we're in our scene. Let's see when we start transitioning. When we begin shifting, we are doing all the shift stuff. Okay, this is not what I thought. Where did we do... Okay. Okay, so we're initializing our next map with the correct value of whatever map is next to us on the appropriate transition. So if we go left, we're at the same row, but we're at one column over to the left. Now that's right, but I think what we need to do is place our map row here. Our map row needs to get updated. I guess, yeah, I'm curious if when we go to render our map, how are we doing it? Let's see where our update is. We're gonna update our current map, which that should be updating, but the thing is our entities aren't actually in our map, which I think actually they probably should be. We probably should put all our entities in our map here. Because we're putting, yeah, okay. So this is where it's messing up. I think we should put our entities inside of our map because our entities need to scroll off with the map. And they do. That works fine. It's just that the entities we're checking are bound by a map row, not a self.currentMap.row.entities. So let's see in our map declarations when we're actually giving us those values. We put into the global map at 1.2 entities. Okay. So why is it that... Oh, okay. No. Yeah, I think we need to move all this into our map class. I'm afraid doing that will break everything. Like, it makes sense our spellcast entities is out in our scene because it needs to not transition along with our player. And then, you know what? Yeah, I think this is all we need. So if we have our player to entity collision, is there any other time we do stuff with our normal gecko entities? I don't think there is. Right here in a finish shifting, we go ahead. Okay. So in the finish shifting function in our scene, we are flushing the original, resetting the original position. Okay. So it's almost like I wonder if we can call this function reset original position. You know what? Yeah. I think this is totally fine. I'm wondering if I think it's fine to still call this here, because we're still only going through. This shouldn't be map row and map column. It should be self.map.row, self.map.column, because we want to clear whatever the current map's entities were. We want to reset their position upon a finish shifting. before we overwrite our current map with the next map. So we kind of want to reset their original position and then stop loading it, so the next time we load it, they're reset. So I think this is okay. Now I want to scoot, I think I want to scoot all of this entity collision into our map class. So I think, yeah, I think we want all this out in our map class. So, entity updates, yeah, we'd want to put it here. So this is where we are processing the AI and updating them. And then this is where we're going to be checking collision with our player. Now, it is good to only check entity collision if we're not shifting, so we don't get any weird errors like getting hit as soon as we're done transitioning or whatever. So I think that's a good idea. Now we have to change all of our parameters here. Yo, what's wrong with the RV door? You already broke it? I think we want this to become self.row, self.column instead of map row and map column. Let's take a look. We do only have a row and column. So this is for any given map. Okay, I think this is right. I think we just want this to be row, and we can do this better. What we can do is... Okay, nice. Yeah, modding. There you go. We're going to substitute any mention of map row with a row. And then we want to do the same thing with our map column. Substitute map column with just column. What do you call them? Okay. Okay. So now our player to entity collision is in our map, which is only nice. That's cool, man. You got to send me pics, or I guess I'll come visit it sometime and see. Yeah, we've got our map. See, and this is weird too. Our function is called collides map object, but we should really call it like player collides, player top collides or something, because we aren't using it for map object collision. We're just doing that to get the appropriate shrunken hitbox for our player. So we'll probably rename that. But we do want to make sure that if we go back to our scene, I think we want to make sure that we are clearing it's the reset position, or original position. What was it called? I think it was reset original position. Yeah. Okay, so we want to make sure we reset our original position, not for our map row, but for our dot current map dot row. Okay. Yeah. Current map dot column. And then we can take out, yeah, dot current map dot row. I think, oh, we'll see. I don't want to say I think this will work. Okay. So we are resetting the original positions entities for our current map right before we assign our next map to our current map. in our finish shifting function. So let's see if anything is wildly broke, and it is. So map 60, we're trying to compare our player, and our player is not in reference to ourself anymore. Our player is in reference to... Our map doesn't have a reference to our player, so we either need to add it as a parameter, or... Dude, you've been winning it up in the slots. You've been mopping up. You must be a janitor over here, because you're mopping up the winnings. Okay, so we either pass in the player to our map instantiation, or we reference our global player. So we can do either. Let's for right now do scene view dot player. That will get access to our player so that we hopefully don't crash. The other way we can do to fix this is to keep our player to entity collisions inside of our scene class, but we would just have to change whatever our current row is upon a transition. But I think this makes more sense. I think it makes more sense to put it in the map class, because the entities are kind of belonging to whatever map they instantiate in, because they can't move out of it. So I think this makes sense. Oh, scene view dot player. Why no this work? Let's make sure our scene instantiation has a dot player. Our scene instantiation has a dot player. So what is going on? Oh, we've got it all here. We've got it all here. Let's do... Yeah, we want to change all of the selves, all of the first self references to not be player, but to be... we want to substitute any self with scene view dot player. There's these ones too. Scene view dot player. See, I don't really like that. That just is so weird. It's like, why are we saying scene view dot player health gets scene view dot player health? So we might want to pass this in. For whatever reason, I thought this would be easier than just passing it in as a parameter. We still had to rename everything, so I don't know. Okay, well, hey, we're not crashing just yet. Let's see. We've got our... They're hitting us, so that's working. Let's see if we can hit them. Yes. So let's see what happens when we get knocked off screen here. Are there any geckos? They're not here anymore. Okay, so now the moment of truth. If we go back, hopefully they're reset to their positions and they're not walking. Hopefully they're in idle. Oh my god, that's it. That's it. So I'm just going to play around, make sure we don't crash anything weird, because it is very unlikely that we just did exactly what we needed to do on the very first try. So I'm actually pretty surprised that that worked. Okay, well, it seems to be working. We still got particle systems. We still have them colliding with us. We can walk off and come back and they're reset just like they should be. Wow, I really can't believe we did this. Okay, so two things we got to do. At least. Oh wait, did you? Oh, look at this. What the heck? I'm getting hit by an invisible gecko. Oh no. It isn't. What is going on there? How do we debug this? I think part of it might be that we knocked it off without killing it. Dude, oh man. Why does it do this? You know, I think if we kill the geckos... Well, let's see. That's so weird. Yeah. Why aren't they reset? We should have... Oh, it's because we... Okay. So I think what's happening is when we knock a gecko out of bounds, we're clearing that entity from our map.entities values. And I think what's happening is that when we reinstantiate our entities to their original positions, that gives us an entity again in that original position. But it's dead. So I don't know if it is just giving us like an invisible entity, because it didn't look like they were moving. Oh, see, look, and then that. Oh, that is so jacked. If we walk off and come back on after we kill them, we can't collide with them because they're technically regular geckos. So that's jacked as well. This makes me feel a bit better. This is about what I expected. So let's take a look at our reset original positions, because if we... This is jacked because we've got like a global declaration of here's the entities that need to go at this certain map. And then if we kill them, we remove them from our entities table, which we probably just have to not do that. We have to make like a is entities dead and only update and render if they're not dead, as opposed to taking those tables out for two reasons. One, because let's say we take out the gecko, you know, let's say we knock off the gecko that is in position 1 of our dot entities. It would, once we table.remove that, it would shift all the trailing values into that first position, and then it might think that that second gecko is now... I don't know. We don't want to do we don't want to do that. So I think we need to revise our reset original positions function, which is right here. We reset their positions to be their original X. Okay, so it's not this, it's that when they go out of bounds, we want to, instead of table.remove, we want to add a dead function, or not dead, it's just that we want it like, because they're not dead, but maybe we use dead because that makes more sense in the game, or not in the game, but in the development process. But let's see where in our entities are we saying table.remove from our entities table. It might be in our walk state for our entity. So let's see if there's a dot remove or something. No. I know we do this. Let's just grep search for a dot remove and we'll see. There's only a couple we do. Is that true? What the heck? I thought for sure we did a table.remove here. I don't know where we're doing it then. Let's check our scene and see. Off screen. Off screen is what it had to do with, so let's do off screen. Yeah, so this off-screen is what we were wanting our dead to be, but I don't see where we're setting it to be off-screen true when we knock it off. So let's see, again, off-screen equals true. Let's see, nope. I really don't like Windows PowerShell, man. It is very slow. Okay, so we aren't rendering them if they're off screen, but we're not removing them. So we aren't actually removing them. We're just not rendering them. So what's happening here, I think, is once they become off screen, their little boolean gets flipped. We're not resetting their boolean, so that when we come back and they were already off screen, they're still there, they're just not being rendered. That's why we can get hit by invisible objects over there. So all we need to do is just flush our off screen to be false upon a reset position, and then we're good. Okay. So yeah, I think all we have to do is say our self.offscreen is false. Now we need to do more than this too, moving forward. Well, let's see if this fixes it. Let's kill some, or actually, yeah, let's knock them off instead of killing them. So we made them off screen. Oh, that was weird. We need to reset their dx and dy because they kind of inherited that. Oh, that's weird. See, look, this guy, oh god. Okay, I think we need to reset their dx and dy again, or as well. Dx is 0, dy is 0. Let's see. Okay, we knocked a couple off. Oh, lordy. Were they here? What is going on? Why did we get hit over here? We need to set our hit flash to be false as well. That's so weird. I can't get that bug to happen again, where they hit us when I walk off screen there. Let's see if we can get it to do it. We knock them off, we walk down here. Yeah, not getting hit anymore. I know I saw that bug. Let's see, no? Well, it looks like the resetting the dx and dy helped a bit with that. Okay. So what we need to do as well is if they get instantiated as a corrupted false, we need to give them the appropriate skin. So right now we're only giving them the appropriate skin if we cleanse them, but if we run this game and we technically cleanse them into a normal gecko, let's do that for one of them over here. So we make him a normal gecko, and before he gets off screen, we walk off there. Then we come back, that gecko is not interactable, and he has the AI of a normal gecko, not a corrupted gecko. So we need to make sure we're swapping that skin over to a corrupted, or over to a normal gecko if that gecko is a uncorrupted or corrupted false, right? So we need to find where we're doing that. I think it's in our entity class. I don't know exactly. So another thing we want to do is we want to give ourselves like a gecko class that inherits entity class attributes, because right now what we've got is we've got all these like checks, like if it's a type gecko, do certain gecko AI and render certain gecko skins or positions, right, and particle systems. So like we want to give our geckos their own class, so we can kind of hold all the gecko logic there. We can still reuse all the entity logic, all the base entity logic, like, you know, updating position, updating particle systems, all that stuff. But we want to modify things in a separate class, I think. So where do we go? Where do we change animation to our gecko? Maybe it's in our walk state. Okay, it's not our change animation we're looking for. It's our actual create animations, because that's what gets the actual texture. So we're gonna say we want to search for this create animations. Where do we do our corrupted gecko? Okay. So if the entity's corrupted, then we go ahead and give ourselves... See, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. This is weird. Yeah, why are we doing this? If our entity's corrupted, if our entity's health is smaller than 0, then we're gonna swap it to a normal gecko animation. Okay. So yeah, this is the cleanse. But we want to basically set this based on the corruption status or corrupted status in our init here. So we can say, we want to say if our dot entity is corrupted, now I don't know if we can do this because we define in our entity defs a corruption value. Like I'll show you here. We've got, if we go out of here and we go into our map declarations and we see where we insert geckos, we're actually not giving a dot corrupted. So I think we actually might be defaulting it to corrupted gets true somewhere in here. Yeah, we do. So what we want to do is we want to define this. We want to say, we want to do this based on the definition of what corrupted value is we pass in, or false. Like we can default it to not corrupted, because not everything will have a corrupted, not every entity will have a corrupted version of itself. So we'll default it to either what we pass it in or false. So if in our map init map declarations, we need to come here and say corrupted gets true, because we're trying to input corrupted geckos into this scene here. Let's see if that crashes anything. Oh, entity walk state 6. Oh yeah, because we stopped mid-thought. We stopped over there. Okay, so if we're corrupted, if our entity is corrupted, and this is where we need to break this out, because we don't want to do this for every entity that's corrupted. We only want to do it for gecko entities that's corrupted. So we'll just say if we're corrupted and our self.entity.type is equal to gecko, then we're gonna go actually change our animation. We're gonna say that our entity, and it's actually a create animation. So we want to go into our entity dot animations gets a self.entity create animations, and we want to create animations with our entity defs global, and we're going to go to our normal gecko skin. Oh, no. We want to go, yeah, we want to set. I guess if we're setting our stuff. Yeah, because what's not happening is we're not setting our animation to be a normal gecko if we're not corrupted from the get-go. So, so we're going to be saying, if we're corrupted and our type is gecko, go ahead, give us the corrupted gecko entity right off the bat. And then animations. Hey, Laser, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing tonight? And then we want to set our animations for if we're not corrupted as well. Hey, nice. Cool. What kind of languages and stuff do you program? Yeah, we're really gonna want to move this stuff out of the entity class eventually soon. Because I don't like asking for the type of gecko in our entity type here. But this is gonna be if we're not corrupted. And if we're not corrupted, we're not going to render our corrupted gecko, but our normal gecko. Let's see if that does. Okay. Ruby on Rails. That's web stuff, right? I know I've heard it, but I haven't looked into what it actually is. We just need to close our function there. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Okay, if we cleanse some geckos here. Okay. Well, by their walk state, they got the right... it's because we only did this in our walk state. We need to do this in our... Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm doing a coding bootcamp here starting next week. So I'm going to be learning a bunch of that stuff too. I think we're doing mainly TypeScript and HTML, CSS and that sort of stuff, but I don't exactly know because I haven't gotten through it yet, but I'm excited for it. Yeah, I've built my own website before, but it's not that great. What did you do a web dev bootcamp where you're learning this Ruby on Rails stuff? Was it in person or online, or how'd you like the experience? Full stack web dev. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it is very hard. I luckily have had a couple years of experience before I got into this bootcamp, so I'm thinking it'll still be hard, but I'm at least not starting from scratch. I don't know if you started from scratch or not, but there's a steep learning curve. So I'm past like that initial super steep learning curve of like learning the types and attributes and all whatever part of HTML and stuff. So I'm past that part. I just need to learn the specifics of the language and the frameworks and stuff. See, I don't like that we're re-putting this here into our idle state as well. I don't like this at all. What we could do is we could inherit the same skin that we... See, this is jacked up still. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I was in the film world for most of my career, and then I found programming, and then kind of I've been in that transition period of going from film into programming. So I feel you there, trying to start from zero after you had a decade of experience in one totally different field. So I feel you on that. So I'm just thinking that maybe I don't know if when we're resetting our position, if we are resetting our corrupted status. We aren't. Thanks, yeah, I appreciate that. I like the more interactivity stuff of the web dev. I don't like so much the styling, like the CSS side, but I like the JavaScript backend side where I get to write programs that do useful things. So I'm wanting to get more into that. So I'm hoping I got enough HTML and CSS under my belt that I can kind of focus on those more backend stuff during the bootcamp, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we're not fleshing our corrupted status, but we're not changing our corrupted status. So I would think that as long as our idle state has got, it is a dot corrupted. So I don't know why it's not rendering the correct uncorrupted gecko by the time we reset it. Because look, we can't collide with it. That means it's a normal gecko. And it changes to a normal gecko as soon as it goes into the walk state, but not in our idle state. So what's going on here? We change. Oh, I know what it is. We don't have a, I know what it is. Oh, okay. You want to learn Lua and Love2d, or just game dev in general? Because I would highly recommend checking out the Harvard CS50 game dev course. It's free on YouTube, and you can follow along and do the assignments and everything on GitHub and edx.org. Hey, thank you for the follow, Long Live Chaos, Twitch scam. I appreciate you. But yeah, if you want to learn what I'm doing, I know everything I know just by doing the Harvard CS50 game dev course that's for free online. And I didn't even finish that course. I just watched the first 3 lectures and then I just started making my own stuff. So I think those 3 lectures are a total of like 5 or 6 hours. I mean, I went through them one at a time. We start with Pong. You make Pong in Love2d and Lua, and then you make Flappy Bird, and then you make Mario. So those 3 different styles of games, you know, they walk you through how to make it in Love2d and Lua, and then you're able to create your own original stuff. You know, you got to apply yourself, but like, you know, they didn't show us how to make this game that I'm making, but I'll show you what they did show, which I didn't even watch the tutorial for, but if we go over here into the Zelda repo, we can run their game, and it is not working. Love.exe. There we go. So this is the one that they do in the class. So you can see the similarities with my game and this game in the sense that, you know, it's a top down. That's really loud. Top down, and it's got the scrolling like that. So sorry for that loudness, but that's the one they walk through in their course. I didn't watch that episode. I should have watched that episode, but I just got the source code and kind of peeped through it. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I would highly suggest checking that out. And like you can look at, like, compare the readability of Lua here to something like JavaScript. I mean, even JavaScript is pretty readable, but Lua is very approachable. So if you can handle JavaScript, you can handle Lua easy, no problem. So it'll be super easy for you to start picking it up, because there's like no semicolons to worry about, there's no braces to worry about. It's very straightforward. Okay, so I think why this is not working, and we'll confirm this. We'll go into our entity defs. It's because we didn't make a oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We do make a uncorrupted gecko in idle state, because we've got, yeah, let me see our entity defs. Let's make sure our gecko, yeah, our gecko has got an idle, yeah, it's got every direction of idle, and our corrupted gecko has got every direction of idle plus every walk direction. So, okay, so I'm back to not knowing why this is failing. So, we can, if we cleanse this guy, for example, we cleansed him, he's no longer corrupted. We come back, he turns into a normal gecko, but not right off the bat. So I don't get why. Its state has got to be idle because he's not moving. But why is it that he has the wrong gecko animation? If we just put this line in it and we take out everything else, let's see if we default to that normal gecko. So we got to hit him 3 times, then he's cleansed, then we go over here, come back, and it's still wrong. So it's like we're not setting. That is so weird. I guess we got to see when we're doing yeah, how are we rendering this? We're rendering it at the animation current frame. Okay, and then our animation is our current animation for our entity, and our current animation is a result of our create animations function that we give it a texture here. Now, even when we just gave this texture no if conditions, it was still rendering incorrect. So what's going on? Okay, I'm not exactly sure, because if we take a look, everything kind of defers to, at the end of the day, everything's rendering defers to the state machine it's in. So since that gecko's in the entity idle state, that's the only thing that kind of decides what gets rendered. So like if we were to go down here and we would change our color, love.graphics.setColor, let's set our color to red, we would have them red. So that's working. Like they're in idle, but let's see if they're red if we cleanse them and come back. So we'll cleanse one, come back, and he is still red. So yeah, why is it inheriting the wrong value here when we set our animation self entity? Oh wait, no, yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on our dot current animation. So if let's take a look at this create animations function, which is in our here. It creates a dot current animation, does it not? No, it doesn't. Okay, so maybe we just have this wrong. Let me take a look at our walk state and how we render this thing. We have entity.current animation. So we need to set a .current animation somewhere. Okay, so when we change animation, that's when we're assigning the .current animation. Okay, so we need to change the animation, not just create animation. So all create animations does is return a table, and that table it goes through all of the values that you pass in, and it just assigns an animation instantiation. And an animation instantiation is just three things: a texture, frame, and interval. And then it puts it into a table called animations returned, and that's what it spits out. So since our .animations, let's check out the difference between our entity walk state, create animation. See, like we change our animation, and we also create our animation here. I think we would want to change it after we create. I don't know if that has an effect, but we'll see. Okay, so he's cleansed, we come back. Okay, still corrupted, and then he loads uncorrupted. So I still don't know why this is messing up. We need to change animation, right? So like, I think we just need to change animation upon the entity idle state. So look, we're changing our animation before we create our animation. So let's change our animation after we create it, and maybe that'll fix it. Oh shoot, I just killed him. Okay, but there, he's back, he's normal. Okay, so that did work it. So all we had to do was make sure that we change our animation after we create our animation, because change animation runs on the .animations field, I believe. Because yeah, if we go to this change animation, which is where? In our animation class. No, it isn't. Where is our change animation? It's in our entity class. But yeah, it changes our current animation. So if we want to change our current animation, we run this after we actually have the appropriate animations in our .animations table. So I guess I'm a little confused why we're not passing in the .animations. It's just using. Let me do a little bit more testing, because I'm like, yeah, change. So you change back the animation idle after the previous corrupted animation. So we're trying to, and you know what? I don't think this isn't part of the game where we can cleanse them and come back and they're normal. They're gonna default to corrupted every time. But the fact that they were able to spawn as a uncorrupted gecko and the correct skin wasn't rendering made me want to fix it, because that means we just didn't have complete control over the animation and the style. So like you could see that the uncorrupted gecko doesn't have a particle system behind him, and he's not purple. And in reality, we want to change them all back to being corrupted. It's just that if it was a problem of if they get cleansed and you walk off screen, when you come back, they were technically cleansed, but they weren't rendering as cleansed. So I think we're not going to keep them as being cleansed like that. If they are, we're going to flush them back to corrupted, because in the game lore, there's like little spouts of I don't know what to call it other than corruption, but like there's like little spouts of corruption that keep, oh wow, I think our red, that was jacked up. Little spouts of corruption will keep spawning them until you clear the biome. You won't resolve the corruption in the biome, and that's when you would get them to remain uncorrupted. So like you can cleanse them here, but as soon as you walk off and come back, they're going to be corrupted again because you haven't cleaned the corrupted spout or whatever we call it. So I think like now that we got that working again, I mean, we don't need that functionality actually, so it's like I don't think we needed to do that. I just wanted to have the option to draw them normal, and it's messed up because we start them off as corrupted in this current state. If we were to just pass them as not corrupted when we instantiate them, it would have been fine and they would have rendered normal. But I just wanted to fix that one bug. But we need to reset it anyway. We need to reset, when we reset our original positions, we need to flush them back to their original corrupted ID. So like we can say corrupted. Now not all entities start off as corrupted or even have a corrupted field. So we want to say corrupted gets our self.original corrupted, and right now we don't have this original corrupted, so we have to give it that. So we'll go to our entity depths and we'll give, right after corrupted, we'll say self.original corrupted. This is just how we're resetting the values to what they instantiate as. So we're going to say that this gets the def of our corrupted status. So the first time we instantiate this entity, it's going to ask for, and we can say or false here so that we get either false. If nothing's passed in, it's going to default to be not corrupted. But if there is a defined .corrupted, when we declare it, then it's going to go save our original corrupted as true. So it's like this, def corrupted. So it's using corrupted twice here, and original corrupted never gets updated. So like if we flush it to be a normal gecko, it'll be not corrupted, but its original corrupted value is still that original corrupted value. So like we can then in our reset, let's go to our reset original positions. Then we can reset our corrupted status. So we can say, you know what, go back, get your corrupted status to be assigned to your original corrupted status. So now we should hopefully flush, reset our, oh, we did it up here. This is wrong. We want to put it right here. Yeah, we already had it. Okay, so we're going to set our corrupted to be equal to our original corrupted value. So now if we cleanse them and then walk off screen before they've walked off, they should be corrupted again. So we should be able to get hurt by them and they won't turn to a normal gecko. Oh, motherfucker. You son of a... Yeah, that's weird that it rendered the idle fine, but when it went to the walk state, it got a normal gecko again. So I think that's due to... I don't know what that's due to. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to do that. It's funny, it's like messing up in the backwards order now. Now it's corrupted when it should be and not corrupted when it shouldn't. Well, let's see. I don't know what's causing that, to be honest. So we're starting it to be corrupted true. Oh, yeah. Well, we should be resetting its corrupted to be the original corrupted. So, when we reset our original position for our entities, our corrupted gets our original corrupted value, which we shouldn't be changing. And then we're giving it the AI based on its corruption status and everything. So let me try, let me see if we cleanse a couple of them. Okay, let's see. So as soon as they walk, what the heck? They should be corrupted. Because if we go here and say change them all whenever we reset their position, just change them to be corrupted, we shouldn't get that issue. But we'll see. Okay, I'm really confused now. What the? I think we messed up. Well, let me just play around and see if we ever, like, if we hit him a couple of times, come off, come back on. Oh gosh, I keep knocking him off. This is jacked up, y'all. Oh no. That is so weird. Yeah, for whatever reason, our corrupted values are just not resetting. I wonder if it has to do with these. If we set this, if we set this only to what we define it, it should only be corrupted. It shouldn't be. Oh, and you know what? Yeah. What the? Yeah. Why is it doing that? Why, as soon as we change into an ND walk state, are we getting to be corrupted? Because we don't do. We ask if we're corrupted, but we don't assign our corrupted anywhere in our walk state, and all our idle state is doing is counting a random time and then changing our state. So why would just changing our state flip our corrupted value? We're going to have to debug and actually print up some of these values here. So what we're going to do is go to our entity defs, and actually it's in our map declarations right here. Instead of 5 geckos, I'm going to limit it to 1 gecko so that we can print up that 1 gecko status so we can see if things are working right. So now that we've got 1 gecko, let's go to our scene and we'll go into right here. We'll print out, we want to print out the entities, the gecko entities. We can just say gecko dot corrupted, and we can print out if now our gecko is in our dot entities for our scene. So we can say gecko dot corrupted, it'll be self dot entities at the ith location, first location, and we're doing a corrupted value print, and we'll take this off so we can just get whether or not our gecko is corrupt and we're crashing. Yeah, we should have... Yeah, we should have an entity there, so... oh, okay. We have to give it... You know what? We're actually not doing anything with our scenes.entity table. So we need to fix that. I'll make a note of that before I forget of that. Where's notes? We'll say... Yeah, I'll just say... ensure entities table in scene class not in use. Okay. So what we have to do here instead is go to our map at our index of the current map, which is a 1, 2, to print this up. So it's nil corrupted. No, that's just us. That's us messing up here. Map 1, 2, dot entities at index 1 dot corrupted. Let's see. Okay, so he is corrupted, and he is corrupted. So if we cleanse him, he'll become corrupted false. Okay, now that is weird. So he's corrupted. What the this makes me more confused. Why would he become uncorrupted just by changing state there? The only times we're setting corrupted to true is when we reset original position, and we only do that once we come back. Oh yeah, but corrupted gets false. When do we do corrupted gets false? So if our health... Oh, okay. So I think we need to reset our health as well. Are we not resetting our health when we reset our position? We also need to reset our damage flash and flashing as well. So we need to reset all these things when we reset our original position. Right here. Yeah, we really should be. So since it was still technically dead. Yo, Laser, have a good night. Yeah. Nice meeting you. Thanks for the follow, dude. I appreciate it. You have a good night. Sleep well. Yeah, we're going to reset our health to be equal to 150 or whatever it was. Okay, hey, cool. That sounds good. I'm on... I don't know if I've got... My Discord button's broken, but... If you add me on GitHub or something, you can, or you can whisper me your LinkedIn or something, and then we can stay in touch. But thanks, man. I appreciate that. You have a good night. So we're resetting our health. We're resetting, and we don't need the dot entity because we are an entity. And then we need just to reset our damage flash and reset our flashing. Reset our corrupted to true. Okay, so we're true on the corrupted. Now we cleanse them and then we come off. It should be corrupted true and not a normal gecko again. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, have a good night, Laser. Okay, cool. So we got that back. Cool. And then if we come back, it resets to true. Cool. Now when we're printing, it's not like, since we're printing a value here on this map, that doesn't mean the gecko's on this map. It's just that we're printing the entity that is stored in our map above us on screen here. So it's looking correct. And now we don't have those. So what we can do is go back and give us 5 geckos again. We can give us more if we wanted to, but let's take off our render here. In our scene, we've got some debugging that we can turn off and then render. Okay, so let's do a little bit of testing here. We can knock back our geckos. I'll probably take their health back down to 100 so I don't have to hit them 3 times. I'm just afraid to knock them off screen, but we'll see. So look, 3 geckos are changed. We come off, we come back on. They're all reset. That's working right. Now, if we knock them off the screen completely, every last one of them. Let's wait till they're all off. We should still have them respawn. Oh, what the heck? What was that? Someone's murdering us. Someone just murdered us. Does it have logic? Does it come back? What just happened there? Okay, so just because we're not rendering them doesn't mean they're not on screen hitting us, apparently. See, look at that. What the... I'm assuming there's an entity walking up into us that's still hitting us. But I have no idea why. Where is that entity coming from? Does that happen on the very first time? Like if we just stand here and do it. Okay, do we get hit? No. I don't know if it depends on what location we're standing in or what was causing that bug. I don't know how to even check. We would like ultimately just print out every entity's X and Y positions in order to check that kind of thing, but we don't really have that room. There's a thing called mob debugger for Lua that I want to test out so that we can actually have some actual debugging to console type stuff for Lua, because right now we're just literally just, you know, print debugging and that stuff. We can do better. There's tools to do better than that. So I don't know why we get that invisible gecko once we clear the screen once. Then there's like an invisible gecko that can collide with us. But it's only sometimes. I haven't seen him in a while, but that doesn't mean he's not there. So like, how would we... Yeah, so like if we had our mob debugger, I think what we'd want to do is like, we'd go, well, yeah, and we can do like a manual debugging here, so we can kind of print out all these things that could be going wrong. So if we go to our map declarations, we give ourselves 3 entities, or let's say 4 instead of 5. And then what we'll do in our scene is we'll go cycle through. We want to cycle through all our entities and just print up their X and Y location kind of squished together. So like we'll say that we want to say entity 1, and we'll say that we want to concatenate that with a string version of the index of whatever our loop is. We have to close this and then concatenate with another string, and what we want to do is put a location. Let's just try to get this to work. So we'll say for I gets 1 for every self dot, and then we can't do entities because we're not actually doing that. We have to do the number of the map at this current map dot entities, and then that will give us a for loop that goes through all those, and we will print out for verbose terms here entity at index I, and we could put a closing bracket here and then a space for our x to go, but we want to put that's our first argument, and then our second argument we can have them print up at x0, but we want our y to be I times a certain value, let's say 5, because we want each one to be printed up. See how we're spacing them out? So I times 6 will space them out a little bit more, and this is, maybe that's not working. Oh yeah, it is. So we've got 4 entities. Now right now we're only printing the index of those entities that are currently in our map. But if we print out more variables, we can kind of see, and this will give us how many entities are in our current map. So we want to put useful information here like x is something, and the something we want to put inside our x is a stringified version of that entity. So we'll say our, gosh, it's really gross how we have to type this out, but we would say map12 dot entities at index I, put its x value there, and then that will give us x values, and we need to close let's see, concatenate with this, and then we need to concatenate this as well. Okay, so we've got our x position for all our entities. So now, like, I'm thinking this will at least start to help us visualize which of the invisible entities was hitting us when we did that. So like it resets there. I can't get that invisible gecko. Oh, there we go. So look at this, entity 1. Entity 1 is still moving. Entity 1 is still moving for some reason, and it's just going and going and going. Oh, we just got hit again. So if I kill entity 1, if I cleanse entity 1, let's see. What the heck? Okay, well, so X was a bad thing to print up because they're coming at us from beneath and hitting us upwards. So we want to see what their Y is. And then we'll see if we can track them down. See, they shouldn't be doing this. Once they go off screen, they shouldn't keep walking. Like once they're past the bounds, they need to just stop updating, and they're not doing that. So I think that has something to do, or that is something to do with the problem. So Let's take a look at our off-screen logic. Now, right now, all we're really doing is we don't render them, but we need to also not update them if they're off-screen. Yeah, we trigger our off-screen, but all that does is stop us from rendering them. What we need to do is say if off-screen is true on those entities, don't update their position, because we're getting some weird... I think what happened is... Oh yeah, that makes sense. So like what was hitting us was an invisible gecko that we knocked off screen. It got off screen as true, therefore it didn't render. Yet its entity was still on our map because we're not deleting those entities. So it's still on our map, we just can't see it. And it was still having the AI to come chase us. That's why we couldn't always replicate it, because we didn't know where that gecko was because it was invisible. So let's go ahead and see if we can only update our entity's position if we're not off screen. So let's go see our entity walk state. Now, it's that I think we don't want to update it at all if it's off screen. I feel like we don't want to update any entities if they're off screen. So maybe we put that in our scene. Well, let's see where we update our entities. Don't we update all of our entities here? We update our entity, it's in our map. So where do we update our entities in our map? Entity update right here. Okay, so if scene view's not shifting, by the time we're cycling through, we want to cycle through our entities, which we are doing here. Then we wanna update this stuff only if our entities, dude, yeah, we're doing that. If not entities off screen, then go ahead and update. We're already doing that. But this okay, so I think what this would mean is that we can actually still update our entities when we're off the screen. So like, look at these Y positions change, and then if we go off screen here, make sure they're chasing us. We go off screen. Oh, see, I was thinking this was going to update. So like they reset their position. Yeah, we just that's weird. We're not up. I don't get that, because if we print up our off screen and our debugging here, look at their values. Look at that. Their values are still updating and they're invisible. So like, either their off screen isn't being updated correctly, or let's see off screen. If we print up off screen, if this is malfunctioning, I'll feel a little bit better and we can fix the problem. So as soon as we knock them off or they walk off, they should turn into off screen true. If they don't, then we know what to fix. And they don't. Oh wait, oh they do. So look, they're off screen. Now we go off, they reset their off screen, we come back. So how are they invisible and hitting us? They do get changed to off screen true by the time they walk off. So why is it that when we put in their value, their Y value, they're still updating when they're off screen? That's what I really don't get. Because we've proven that they do go off screen, but look at that. Yeah, we're still getting hit by an entity that shouldn't be updating. And they shouldn't be updating now. Like, why are they walking upwards? I wonder if the other two have X values that are increasing. Let's go ahead and print up the X and Y. So what we'll do is we'll print up the X first, and then the Y, and we'll print this up at what we want to offset this one by. How would we do this? I don't know how we would do this. Maybe we just also, no. I don't know how we would format this pretty so we can see this all. It's like we want this times 8 and this times... I don't know how we would print this up. I gotta come up with a good way how to do this. Maybe all we do is print up the X first, and then we print up just the Y, and we print it at the same X. I think we do need to pass this to toString, and then we'll put it at just an X of whatever value puts it to the right of us. Okay, so that's our Y on the left there. So I'm curious if all the geckos that are tracking left and rightwards don't stop their X changing once they're off screen, but all the vertical ones, see how there's 3 vertical? Oh, they're all vertical. Okay, we need to floor, god dang, we need to floor our X real quick. So instead of toString, let us put in a, what is it? String format? Format string? String.format? String.format. And we'll format it to be this. Crap, I'm forgetting how to do this. It's like, shit, I gotta look this up real quick. Okay, so this is how we do it. String.format, then you give it a string with the format specifier, then you plug in the value you need to convert to a string. So we'll do that here. So we're going to say X is a string format. That is the value we need to pass into the format specifier. So we'll say that our string is a to the second decimal float. And then that, maybe? Okay, cool. So yeah, so like we need the geckos to have different tracking, right? So like they're all tracking me left to right. We hit the RNG lottery right there. We need different tracking. So that one's tracking left to right, that one's tracking left to right. Wow. they all tracking me left or right? Maybe we just messed this up somewhere. They're supposed to... That's so weird. I think ours are screwing up somewhere. They're supposed to have a random AI that tracks us either by our X position or our Y position, but they're all tracking our X. I don't know when that started to happen. This is weird. Yeah, they're all prioritizing my X position, which we should do that randomly. Let's see if in our map declarations we give that as a parameter. It should be called AI path as random path, and our random path is either 1 or 2. So we are doing that still. But then in our entity class, let's see. Yeah, our AI path gets set here, and then in our entity walk state, our AI path is getting different values. So dude, I don't know why they're not doing that anymore. That concerns me. Okay, so we're trying to see when we cleanse them and they walk off screen, we're trying to see their values stop. Like their values, their X position, or their X position and Y position isn't stopping. Now, they should be stopping. They should be stopping as soon as they're off screen. We've already verified that they are off screen true. And why would entity 2 be... Well, entity 2 is... Okay. So depending on which axis they walked off at, I think determines whether or not their X is changing or Y is changing. But regardless, we need to stop updating their X and Y position if they're off screen. And we have a line of code that's preventing that, or supposed to be preventing that. Now, where is it? It is a if we search for off screen, right here, if our scene is not shifting, which it isn't, then every entity we're cycling through our entities. And you know what? It's probably this self row that's messing up. No, because it's to our map. Yeah, but that should be okay. But we're saying if our map... Oh, we have to do our index here. We have to give our index of our actual for loop here. Let's see if that fixes it. I think that might. It bugs me that they don't have their proper AI back. But yeah, check that out. They stop updating once they're off screen. Okay, so now we shouldn't have that invisible gecko bug where they keep hitting us. We shouldn't. Doesn't mean we won't, but I think now if we just get our gecko AI back to working, we should be in a good spot. So it looks like they're all tracking my X position all the time. So I'm curious if we go into our map declarations and instead of giving us a random path, if we set our path explicitly to 2, if they'll track our Y now. Yes. So see how now they're tracking our Y? So why is it that they weren't getting a random path here? We've got, let's make sure we're seeding our random value. Yeah, we're seeding our random value. And we do this every loop. We get a random path. It's just that they're not... Why is it that they're all tracking my X? We didn't change anything to change this. Like, what? I mean, we must have, because it's broken now. We might be doing something with our random, or our AI path that wasn't expected. Yeah, I mean, let's say or 2 and see if any of them turn Y. They all track my X. That is so weird. We had this working. Yep. That is so strange. I don't know why this wouldn't be working. If we give it a 1, this is it functioning exactly how we thought. Like AI path 1 means track our X. AI path 2 means track our Y. So why does not putting in a random AI path, which is a result of this function right here, give us either 1 or 2? They're all getting X tracking. That is so weird to me. Why are they doing this? And we don't use our AI path anywhere else. We search for AI path, and it's only the declaration, the definition, and then the cases. So what if we say right here, what if we just do it right here and we say, you know what? This gets a math.random of 1 or 2. Okay. There's still... Oh. Well, that got one of them to track our Y. Dude, why would that change? Why would that change? Whatever. I don't know why that wasn't working with our old way of doing things, but at least we can get it to work. Okay. I think we do want to ultimately shrink our hitbox for this a little bit, because it looks like, you know, if their nose touches us on the side, well, it's pretty accurate, but it's just that at least on our frame 1 of our left player, it's got one space in front of his nose that is blank, so that means we'd be detecting a collision the pixel before they actually touch us. So we might want to shrink the sides of our hitbox just by 1, just to give it a little more wiggle room there, just so it looks a little more legit. And then we've got our geckos resetting. If we cleanse them or knock them off screen, then we come back, then they're reset to their positions and reset corruption status. So that's all working. And we haven't seen the invisible gecko bug since we stopped updating our entities off screen effectively. So I think we're good there. So I also want to, and I'll call it a night here, but we'll add some notes so we don't forget, and we'll say that we want to rename player collision function for entities, for entity collision. Yeah, man, get it in while the getting's good. And then we want to rename player collision function for entity collision, and then we want to actually shrink the sideways hitboxes for those. And I was thinking it could be fun to do a little credits screen for the game so that anyone who has subscribed to the channel gets their name in the game's credits as a credited supporter. And by the time I wrap up my streams, I can just run the game in credits mode, and it'll show our little characters and geckos and stuff, and then credits will kind of scroll up on the screen of anyone who is a credited supporter. So I'm thinking about adding that sometime soon. It shouldn't be that hard, but I think that could be a fun little thing to end the streams with. But for now, we will add everything with a commit message saying entity fixes, off-screen entity fixes, and resets maybe. Cool. And we'll get pushed out. And then our boy Rough Cookie is streaming, so we'll go ahead and raid him. If you want to just pop in and say hi. He was having some trouble with his AIs today, but I told him I'd try to come back and visit him again, so we'll just give him a quick raid and make some poop rain on his chat. His emote, not mine. His emote. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you later.